preschool friends, good to see you again. It is time for our favorite time of day, and that is Reading with Rach, episode 8. Can you imagine? We are up to episode 8, and I found this really funny book for you, and it's all about this big, crazy word called exaggerate. Exaggerate, what do you think that's about? Exaggerate means when we describe something as being bigger, larger, better, or worse than it really is, or sometimes even impossible. So we're gonna play this game as if I'm gonna go through this crazy little story, and you have to point out every time you hear me exaggerating. So if you hear in the story someone's exaggerating, I want you to put your thumbs up like this, and then I'm gonna know that you caught one of those times, okay? So get ready with your listening ears and pick out the exaggerations. Here we go. The fabulous fish from Lake Wigawalla. All right, look at this fish. You gotta see him up close. All right, here we go. On the first day of school, Miss Pennywhistle said, "Who would like to tell the class about his or her summer vacation?" "Oh, me, cried Eleanor, the exaggerator. "My family and I had the best vacation ever." "Oh, go ahead, Eleanor," Miss Pennywhistle said. Hey, we have an Eleanor in our class. Is this book about Eleanor? No, different Eleanor. All right. "We started out here in Pennsylvania," Eleanor said, "and we drove all the way to China." "Is that so?" yelled noisy Nellie. Eleanor shrugged. "Well, maybe I did exaggerate just a little bit. So how far do you think Eleanor and her family really drove? Did they drive as far as the moon and back? Did they drive as far as the attic upstairs? Did they drive as far as the North Pole to see Santa? Or did they drive maybe as far as Maine?" So you have to decide in your head which of these situations is realistic or unrealistic. "It's true, we only drove to Maine," Eleanor admitted. "But we couldn't have picked a better place for a vacation. My grandma and grandpa have a big log cabin there, right on the shore of Lake Wigawalla. And Lake Wigawalla is full of fish," Eleanor continued. "There must be 1,000,000 of them. So every morning we took our fishing rods and we rowed out to catch some fish. One day I caught the most fabulous fish ever. It was as big as a whale and twice as strong. And that's why it got away." "Oh, is that so?" said Danny, the doubter. And Eleanor smiled. "Well, maybe I did exaggerate just a wee bit there." How strong do you think Eleanor's fish really was? Was it strong enough to tow 2 water skiers across the lake? Or strong enough to lift a 100-pound barbell with its flippers? Or was it strong enough to snap the fishing line and then swim away? Or maybe it was strong enough to carry a whole troop of Girl Scouts on its back. Which of those situations do you think might be realistic or not? "Well, it is true. My fish just managed to break the line," Eleanor said. "But I was glad it swam away. I don't really care that much for fish. And besides, I'd much rather eat blueberries. And I bet there are 1,000,000,000 blueberries on the bushes by Lake Wigawalla," Eleanor went on. "So every afternoon we went out berry picking." Mommy and Daddy were not very good berry pickers. So in fact, they always ate more than they brought back with them. But I needed a great big wheelbarrow to carry home all the berries that I picked. Look at that wheelbarrow full, right? "Oh, is that so?" scoffed Scotty at the scoffer. Eleanor grinned. "Well, maybe I did just exaggerate a teeny-weeny bit there." "Well, how many blueberries do you think Eleanor really actually picked? Did she pick far too many to fit in a closet? Did she pick a few too many to fit in a teaspoon? Or did she pick almost enough to fill up a whole swimming pool? Or did she just pick enough to fill up 2 small buckets to bring home? So you think about those situations, friends. It's true. I only filled up the 2 small buckets that day, Eleanor admitted. But Grandma made the most of every single berry. She made blueberry pies and blueberry muffins and blueberry waffles with blackberry jam on them. And she even made blueberry bread and the very, very berriest blueberry ice cream. But it was Grandpa who made the best thing of all, Eleanor went on. Day after day, he hammered and he sawed and then he sanded and painted, and finally, it was finished. The most wonderful treehouse ever. It looked a lot like Grandma and Grandpa's cabin. Oh, but it was 10 times as big. Is that so? Asked curious Caroline. Eleanor giggled. Well, maybe I did just exaggerate there an itsy bitsy weeny bit. How big do you think Eleanor's treehouse really actually was? Was it a little bigger than Grandma's 4-poster bed? Was it a little smaller than Eleanor's 5-room dollhouse? Or was it almost as big as a city skyscraper? Or just about the size of the Wiggle-Walla ferry boat? How big do you think that treehouse was that Grandpa made? Well, it's true. My treehouse wasn't much bigger than Grandma's bed, actually, Eleanor admitted. But it was exactly the right size for me. On a hot summer days, there was no better place to catch the breeze. And on a cool summer night, there was no better place to cuddle up and count the stars. Oh, there must have been 1 trillion of them up there in the sky, all shining down on Lake Wiggle-Walla. Ah, is that so? Asked Norman, the know-it-all of the class, and Eleanor laughed. Well, maybe I did exaggerate. An itsy-bitsy, teeny-weeny, just a wee little bit. Oh, no, Eleanor, Miss Pennywhistle said. This time, I don't think you did. And the teacher laughed too. The end. So today, you could have fun making up some crazy exaggerations that might make your family laugh. Do you think you might make somebody laugh today? You do. You make me laugh every day. Bye, friends.